will run down the rules, the nuts and bolts covering the fight. Rounds will be scored on the 10-point must system. No, excuse me, no knockdown limit per round. 2 judges and 1 referee each get a vote in the scoring. Mandatory 8 count, no saving by the bell. As you look at Arguello, the thing to remember about him is that he's a terrific puncher for the weight. His blows have a cutting effect. Once Arthur Mercani, who refereed his prior fight against Escalera, said, there are razor blades in the glove. Escalera made the mistake of trying to punch with him the last time around, promises to box him this time, and that the result will be different. As the fight begins, we shall see. The referee is Angelo Paletti, a veteran Italian boxing official. The 2 judges, both Italians, Marcello Bertini and Leto Bellagama. Arguello, as you see, despite his power, is a hittable fighter. He fights from a straight-up stance and does not have a lot of foot movement. Escalera, on the other hand, has lots of movement and is very quick-handed. Arguello had a problem making the weight, but wound up down as low as 129. This may be, and probably will be, his last fight as a super featherweight. Escalera has no such weight problem. Escalera. Arguello beginning to score. Why is the fight in Rimini with a Nicaraguan and a Puerto Rican? Good question. Promotional wars, needing a place at the last minute, tax purposes. And Alfredo Righetti, the Italian heavyweight, lives here and is on the undercard. So the place is packed. First round action. Escalera being cautious thus far, remembering what happened the last time around. And Arguello doing the better scoring with that stiff, straight left. The jab has a lot of strength in it, and the hook has tremendous power. Caution to Escalera from Paletti, the referee, about the use of the head, the butt. See how quickly Arguello's left gets in there. See the countdown, the end of the round in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And we have the end of the round approaching. Now you're looking at Escalera as he goes to his corner. The men in his corner, his trainer, Enrique Carrion, his cut man, Dr. Amori Capellan, and his other man in his corner is Paul Ruiz, his manager. There is Arguello. In his corner, Arturo Hernandez. The noise behind me relates to the round girl who is carrying the round card about the ring. There you see it. Arturo Hernandez, Don Con, Miguel Rivas are the people in Arguello's corner. Al Silvani used to be Arguello's trainer, is not here, apparently is the trainer no longer. Amazing confidence in Escalera for a man whose face was cut to ribbons the last time out against that man. The bell for round 2. Escalera, the snake man, is pet python, 6 feet. Ali is his name. not here. Back home in Puerto Rico. They wouldn't let him take the snake abroad. Now you see Escalera going to work. In their first fight, early on, Escalera stung Arguello with a left hook to the liver, the most punishing kind of punch, and that led him into what he claims was overconfidence, into the second round knockdown by Arguello, who then assumed command of the first fight. Still, Escalera lost on October 27th to Julio Valdez, an unexpected defeat. Second round action, and Escalera scored well. The crowd reacts with a lift. I repeat for emphasis, the ring is only 16 feet. So there is no place to run or to hide. Escalera to the left of your screen. Arguello is back to you. Arguello seemed to land the more numerous and crisper punches in the first round. This round has been a little different. Escalera's left working on Arguello. "40 seconds left in the round. Good left by Arguello. Arguello scores heavily with a left and a right. Escalera holds. Round in its final stage. Coming now to the end of round 2. We're back live, Rimini, Italy, the western shore of the Adriatic, round 3. Arguello in the red trunks, if you've got a color set, to the right of your screen. Escalera in the blue trunks to the left. The first round, I thought, cleanly won by Arguello. The second round, Arguello landed late in the round, the crisper punches, but on balance, I thought the round was even. Escalera dominated in the early moments of the round. This is round 3. Again, the official, a veteran Italian, Angelo Bolletti, the referee, scoring on the 10-point mud system. To give you some idea of the punching power of Arguello, he's 160, he has lost 4. He is looking for his 50th knockout. He has won 49 bouts by knockout. The only men in the lower weight classifications who can punch like Arguello are Carlos Zarate, Alfredo Gomez, and of course, the omnipresent Roberto Duran. Caution from the official to Escalera, as you saw. Arguello is looking for an opening. He would like to do what he did in the last fight, connect early, floor the opponent, and then dominate and put the opponent away. The whole battle plan of Escalera is to thwart that. To box much more cagely than he did the last time out. Not to leave himself open. So in this, the third round, you are seeing a wary Escalera. There is a cut under Escalera's right arm. As we approach the end of the third round, we'll be back. You just had a quick glimpse of the corner of Escalera working over the right eye just before the end of the round. A sharp Arguello left got under that eye and caused the cut. Always remember, a flow of blood from under the eye will not stop a fight. Over the eye, the blood goes into the eye and blurs vision and can often cause a fight to be stopped. The present cut is not the case. Still, it shows you the cutting effect of Arguello's punches, as I suggested earlier on in the telecast. Not only that, you can look for a lot more blood in this one. The fighters are, of course, wearing 8-ounce gloves. But as you see them exchanging blows here, and Arguello senses that he is beginning to get command. Now, Escalera fighting back. But Arguello, sure in his punches. Right there, a good left by Escalera. There is absolutely no fear in Escalera. He himself, a champion who defended successfully 8 times. An apology for a butt. There you see the blood under the right eye. These gloves are manufactured in Mexico. They are Casanova gloves. See the white seams on the side of them? They add to the cutting potential of the glove. Right there, the left, as in the first fight. The quick, straight left got in there. So we have the first knockdown in the fight. You could see that Escalera sensed he was in command as the two resumed fighting. You couldn't ask for a cleaner left, and Escalera is trying to cover up, trying to be careful. And now the blood flows again from under the eye. The cut reopens. The nose is red. It's hard to tell. Blood is coming from the right there. A left and a right and a left in order. And Arguello is getting through. He wants to make short shrift now of Escalera if he can. This is a tremendous puncher. Alexis Arguello seeking his 50th knockout. One knockdown in the fight. In this, the 4th round. A left did it. Escalera wanting to stay away, wanting to be wary, to fight cautiously, the whole battle plan. But how do you win when you're fighting defensively? That was his problem going in. We will stay with the fighters between rounds as we approach the end of round 4, the first truly decisive action in the fight. We will go now to Alfredo Escalera's corner. Immediately, they go to work on the eye. A knockdown in that round, a left did it. Now, we will be showing you that knockdown in replay in just a few seconds. But right now, the problem to close up that cut again and to avoid, from Escalera's point of view, future cuts. Let's look at that blow in replay now. Watch for that left. There it was. Quickly. Half hook, half straight. Bang, it went in. Down went Escalera. Thing to watch for now, that's Mrs. Arguello. Her name is Loretta, her first name. She travels with Alexis for every fight. Now you're looking at Arguello. The bell sounds for the start of round 5. Angelo Paletti wants to wipe off the fighter's face. Arguello's face is wiped off by the referee. And now the battle resumes. And indeed, they have not been able to stem the flow of blood. As the round begins, the blood is coming down from the cut underneath Escalera's left eye. Remember, this is 5th round action. And the 4th right there again. And Arguello now is taking tremendous charge of this fight. The 2nd knockdown. Again, it was the left that did it. Arguello stands in the neutral corner, just looking on. Escalera is the same age as Arguello, only 26. But off the Valdez loss, some feel that he is slipping. And now, indeed, he is in desperate trouble and ready to go. Staggering about the ring, desperately hurt. The legs wavering and rubbering. Now the right from Arguello sends him back against the ropes into the corner. Arguello is measuring him, teeing off on him. Again, the Escalera face, full of blood, flowing profusely from that cut. And blood now from the nose, the left and the right. And now, Paletti, the referee, giving him what amounts to a standing 8 count. Here in Italy, there is no rule provision for a standing 8 count, such as they have in the amateurs, but the referee has the discretion to call it. So we have had 2 knockdowns to the canvas and a standing 8 count. One of the knockdowns to the canvas and the standing 8 count have both occurred in this, the 5th round. Escalera stays alive on nerve alone. Arguello fighting back to his form of a year ago. Some felt he had been a weakening fighter. Off and over the weight loss to Villamar Fernandez last summer in New York. Look at Arguello teeing off. Arguello looks the best we have seen him since his last fight against Escalera. This is 5th round action. As you follow the clock in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, you can see that Arguello is looking to finish Escalera. Escalera hanging on. Now the crowd responding to Escalera's courage, and now Escalera comes back with a couple of left, and he's coming on now. And listen to the crowd. They're cheering for Alfredo Escalera, for his courage and for his resiliency as we approach the end of the 5th round in another fine fight. That's the end of the round. Look at the face of Escalera. Cut to ribbons, but fighting back in the last 35 to 50 seconds of the round. And as you look at Alfredo in his corner, quickly, they're going to work. And Arguello, relatively untouched, a slight redness on the upper right side of the forehead, but that's all. Now let's take a look at the knockdown. That left did it right there to the left side of Escalera's face. And down went Escalera. Now let's see if in a few seconds we can get you the blows that caused the standing 8 count. Remember, 2 knockdowns in the 5 rounds to the canvas, 1 standing 8 count. Arguello in command. All right, now here is the second. At left. No, that was a repeat of the knockdown to the canvas. Our apology. There was a mix-up in the truck. We showed you the first knockdown to the canvas in the fight, which we had repeated for you previously, and that was the second knockdown to the canvas in the fight. We did not show you the flurry of blows that led to the standing 8 count. Now we're in round 6. This crowd got truly excited as Escalera proved A, his courage, B, his comeback capacity in the final 50 seconds of the 5th round. There is no quit in Alfredo, who, by the way, is being watched in this fight by his wife, Liliana, and indeed by Alfredo III, their little baby son. Escalera not fighting cautiously anymore, throwing caution to the wind, knowing his only hope lies in a comeback and doing damage to Arguello of the nature that Arguello has inflicted upon him. Action in round 6. Escalera on the inside, trying to stay away from that long length of Arguello. There is Liliana. There is the baby, notably unaffected by the flow of events. The anguish etched in Liliana's face as she sees the blood flowing from her husband's eye. Now there is blood on Arguello, but it's difficult to determine whether it's his or Escalera's as we come down within the final minute of round 6. Blood now from that left eye of Arguello, as well as the right. It is pouring out from him. Arguello remains composed. Now the cut to be attended to as referee Angelo Paletti halts the action for a moment. The blood wipes away from the corner of the left eye, still coming down from under the right eye. Now Arguello showing a little more movement on the toes, using what little there is of the ring. But this crowd now is definitely partisan to Escalera. It is difficult to determine whether or not the blood on Arguello's face is from a cut or is Escalera's blood. We are approaching the end of the round. We're back for round 7, and the blood flows from Escalera, and Arguello has not been cut. It was Escalera's blood that was over Arguello. Now Arguello, who seemed to have lost some of his drive in the 5th round after the knockdown in the 6th round, rather, after the knockdown in the 5th and the standing 8 count. Arguello is looking now to really put the opponent away. You see, that right connected with Arguello, but it did not have sting behind it. This is 7th round action. See the matter above Escalera's left eye that temporarily stops the flow of blood. That won't contain that flow long. Escalera with a good counter right. With every Escalera blow now, you hear the crowd roar. He has become the crowd's man. In the last fight between these two men, Escalera suffered, I think, the worst cut I have ever seen in boxing. Worse around the lower lip than what Foreman did to Frazier in Kingston, Jamaica. The lower lip appeared disengaged from the chin itself. It was a horrible, bloody sight. But Escalera heals rapidly. Going into this fight, there was no trace of any prior damage. In the 7th round, Escalera with a good left and another good left. Escalera coming to life. Escalera on the offense. What guts this kid has. Look at Escalera connecting. Arguello trying to get back in command. But right now, Escalera with a half smile across his face, despite the cuts and the blood. We're going to stay. We're going to show you those blows by Alfredo Escalera. And now Arguello is cut. You saw Escalera patting Arguello, and Arguello is cut over the right eye, the right corner of the right eye and on the brow. So, we've got a different-looking fight at the moment. Now, let's look at Escalera's flurry in slow motion. There's the left, and another left, and that's when the eye got cut. Remember, I told you about the seams on the glove, the side of the glove. Now they're still working over both of Escalera's eyes. The kind of gloves they're using, Mexican manufactured, have a great deal to do with the cut and the blood that you're seeing. It has become, quite frankly, a vicious, a brutal fight, but exciting for lovers of fight. Round 8 coming up. Now one fighter has both eyes cut. That's Escalera. Arguello has one eye cut. Arguello's wife could not stand the sight of it anymore. She was sitting right behind him. She has left ringside. Arguello now faces the task, from his point of view, of getting back in control. But Escalera is unafraid. He took savage punishment earlier on and is now coming back. Did the same thing in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, a year and a week ago, until finally the fight had to be stopped. Now let's take a look quickly at Escalera's wife. There she is, obviously worried. It's not a pretty sight to see. One's husband in there, bleeding. Boxing, a brutal sport, no question about it. But look at Escalera, taking the offensive lead, throwing the greater number of punches, and beginning to have effect with it. Evidence, the 7th round, and the cut of Arguello's right eye. He paused at his right eye as the blood comes out of it. Arguello, that is. Quick, sharp left got in by Arguello, but Escalera keeps coming. Appears supremely confident, despite the punishment he has absorbed. Round action. We have about 45 seconds left in the round. Clearly, Arguello's pace has been slowed by the efforts of Escalera. Remember, this is for the WBC World Super Featherweight title. It is a rematch. Arguello won the title from Escalera a year and a week ago in Bayamon. Arguello got off to a big early lead in this fight. There have been 2 knockdowns and a standing 8 count by Arguello. No knockdowns by Escalera. The end of the round. Back live at ringside, the Sports Palace, Rimini, Italy, for what has become a tremendous fight. Vicious, yes. Bloody, yes. But 2 warriors. That's what they are. Each courageous. Arguello, at the moment, appearing the more tired of the 2. But it was Escalera who looked like he would be put away as early as the 4th or 5th round. He survived. He has come back. Both eyes cut. Both of Escalera's eyes. The coagulant now appears to be taking hold, and the blood is not pouring forth. So at the moment, the cut over Arguello's right eye is the more serious cut. Such is the flow of the tide in this battle. At this point in the fight, stamina becomes all important. One has to wonder how much was taken out of Arguello by getting down to the weight, and indeed a pound under it. Now the blood opens again over Escalera's left eye, or out of the corner of it. You can see that blood for yourself. And Arguello is pecking away at it. Arguello trying to reassume the total command he had in the earlier rounds. So far in the 9th round, this round, he is doing much better than he did in the prior 2, which I gave to Escalera. By the way, I'd like to alert our local stations along the line that at the end of this round, we'll take a station break. Unless the action is such that it would militate against our leaving the scene, even briefly. Memphis scoring is on the 10-point must system. Can't call this a boxing contest because they have so little room to move in. 16-foot ring. So it's a hitting fest. Good left by Arguello. Arguello much crisp in this, the 9th round. Much crisp. With 30 seconds left to go in the round. Counting down, as you can see. Both fighters showing some signs of fatigue now. Escalera swinging Arguello around, but Arguello getting the caution. Coming to the end of the round, we'll be back with more boxing after this word from our local station. Satellite, the 10th round, just getting underway of a vicious fight for the World Boxing Council Super Featherweight title. Alexis Arguello and Alfredo Escalera. Escalera to the left of your screen, Arguello now with his back to you. There have been 3 8 counts in the fight, all scored by Arguello. 2 hitting the opponent to the canvas, the 3rd a standing 8 count. Both fighters cut badly. Escalera, both eyes. Arguello, the right eye. Arguello's left eye is half shut. Or rather, right eye. Arguello, Escalera's left eye is half shut. Escalera working on Arguello, who's back to the rope. Good left by Arguello. With the right 2 in combination. Arguello started reassuming control in the 9th round. Here in the 10th, he has the crisper, sharper punch. We're within the final minute of the 10th round. Quick reminder coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports. You'll see the National Figure Skating Championships from Cincinnati, Ohio. You'll see ice dancing. And you'll see the World Wrist Wrestling Championships from Petaluma, California. And a report on the Grand Prix of Brazil. Wide World of Sports coming up next. Meanwhile, this is 10th round action. Arguello leading from the right eye. And Escalera from the left. A lot of blood from the corner of Arguello's right brow. Coming up, the end of the round. Arguello, Super Featherweight champion, defending against that man, Alfredo Escalera. And now, Arguello comes out in a hurry. He reassumes control of the fight in the 9th and 10th rounds, at least in my view. And now he comes out in a hurry with a renewed vigor, still wanting to end things if he can. But Escalera has proved his resiliency. He came back beautifully after being on the verge of a knockout and won the 7th and 8th round. By my scoring, Arguello is well ahead again after the last 2 rounds. Well ahead. But that's an individual and subjective view of this fight as I am watching. Scoring a fight, as boxing fans know, is one of the most subjective businesses in sport. This is the 11th round. Angelo Belletti is the referee, the 3rd man in the ring. Scoring is on a 10-point must system. Escalera scoring well there. Can't ask for more courage from a fighter than Escalera has shown in this one. Remember I said early in the telecast there would be a lot of bloodletting, and it has turned out that way. And one of the reasons, of course, is lodged in the power of both men's fists, but an abetting reason, as you look at Escalera's wife again, an abetting reason has been the Mexican manufactured gloves they are using, with seams in the side that produce cuts much more readily than the American manufactured gloves normally used. We've got a minute to go in the 11th round. Arguello came out quickly in this round, threw a lot of leather in the first 30 seconds, and then the pace of both fighters has slackened. More and more. Whoa! That stacked Escalera. Quickly, a left and right combination came from nowhere, and you saw Escalera snap back. We have 20 seconds left as we are counting down in the 11th round. And clearly, Arguello has retaken command of the fight. Clearly. We are now counting down to the end of the 11th round. You're looking at Arguello. They worked over the right eye, but Angelo Belletti, the referee, spent most of his time with Escalera, studying both of Alfredo's eyes to determine whether or not the fight should continue. This is the 12th round. It has been a vicious, bloody, even brutal fight, mainly dominated, as I have seen it, by Arguello, who has scored 3 8-counts against Escalera. 2 of them by knocking Escalera to the canvas with punishing lefts. The 3rd, a standing 8-count, invoked discretionarily by the referee. The bout, Arguello defending his WBC Super Featherweight Championship. The place, Rimini, and look at Escalera, and listen to the crowd. Make the noise as their man starts to come back again. To the best of his ability, that is. We are a minute into round 12. The blood pours from Escalera's left eye. The cut has not been reopened in the corner of Arguello's right eye. Not yet, anyway. Escalera trying to get to it. Round action. Crowd warms again to the blows thrown by Escalera. But make no mistake about it, the dominant party is Arguello. We have a minute left in the 12th round. Don't forget, next week in ABC's International Championship Boxing Series, it's back to the amateur level. As you see, the United States against Cuba, live from Havana via the satellite. The Cuban fighters, at this point in time, prior to the Moscow Olympics, probably the best amateur team in the world. But the American team, coming off that surprising defeat of the Soviets a week ago in Las Vegas. The American kids getting the same kind of brilliant coaching that produced the miracle at Montreal. We're counting down to the end of round 12. Both fighters, being human, not capable of fighting at a torrid pace every minute of every round. But torrid is a fair adjective for this fight. We'll be back. Alexis Arguello, Alfredo Escalera, the two fighters, bloodied but unbowed. Arguello with a quicker start in this, the 13th round. Quickly reopens the blood from Escalera's left eye cut. Escalera with a couple of lefts. Flip. Saw some blood spurt right there. While expressing my admiration for both fighters, I must confess. That left. Oh, what a tremendous left hook by Arguello. Escalera's guard was down. Look at him. That's it. It's over now. There can be no further fighting. Once again, the second time around, Arguello does it to Escalera in the 13th round. In another devastating fight between these two gladiators. No need to pour it on. That blood just spurted out before that left hook. It was horrible to see. And so, Escalera is rendered once again a gory vet. And Arguello retains his championship. We've told you about that man's punching power, pound for pound. Let's take another look at that blow in slow motion. Watch closely. Escalera brings down that right after attempting to deliver it. That gave Arguello the opening with the left. And it was over as quickly as that. There is Escalera's little baby, Escalera's wife, to whom Arguello just extended his best wishes. And so, with a kind of terrible abruptness, it was over. Both fighters appeared to be fighting on nerve alone. Mrs. Arguello has come back. Her joy, obvious. At the same time, she had to leave the ring earlier. Couldn't stand to see her husband cut. So she must wonder about the whole thing. The time was 1 minute 24 seconds of the 13th round. And again, we don't want to belabor this. See that right go down, leaving the opening for Arguello's left. That was it. A simply tremendous punch. And so they take the gloves off the winner, and still the WBC Super Featherweight champion, Alexis Arguello, will be back in Rimini, Italy in a moment.